Alright, this is that guy TJC, and this video is going to be on how to cast a baitcaster. Not just because I can. The last time I went fishing, the micro SD card reader wasn't working for my camera, so I had to swap it out. But yeah, now it's working now, so I just wanted to put out a video just because I could. What I got here is, my normal setup would be this. And just this weight and the hook and all that down here with bait. I'm using this extra weight just, so I can cast it. I'm using an Abu Garcia Black Max, or the B Max 3 on a Abu Garcia Vigilante 7-foot, what was this, medium action rod. So, alright, and this setting is for beginners. What I did when I started out bait casting was I loosened the braking system all the way to minimum. I tightened this all the way up till the spool wasn't moving anymore. So like that. And so I just set this. I would slowly loosen this until the weights or the bait or whatever you're using was slowly moving to the ground at a constant speed, not like super slow, but or not super fast, and it hits the ground without backlashing. And if those who don't know what backlashing is, if you're starting out, or if you already know, I'll show you here in a minute. But it's supposed to hit the ground like that, and it's not supposed to backlash, so maybe a little bit looser. That should be fine. Or, you know what? Just because I can, a little looser. See if we can get that second weight on the ground. See if I can get that second weight on the ground. And when you set in this, you have to have the rod completely straight out. So, that's as close as I'm gonna get. Then I'd take this braking system and put it all the way to max. And the way you do it is you click this down so the spool's free. You see? Spool's free. You put your thumb on it so don't move. So it's right there. And you slowly come back with it and you release. And then right before it hits the ground, you want to put your thumb on that. Otherwise you get backlash. And for those who don't know what backlash is, I'll show you right here. Just do that. Oh, have this set so well. Just do this. Just see, if I didn't put my thumb on the spool, I would have backlashed worse. It's just all the spool coming out when your bait has already stopped. So what you want to do to get this out, you can just pull it out if it's not that bad. This wasn't that bad. But if it was so bad, and when you were pulling it out and it stops and stuff because there was a line, like a V line or something, you either you turn up your drag a little bit and you just put your thumb on the spool and apply pressure and spin it, and it should get it out, and then loosen up the drag and then start pulling out again. Or you loosen up your drag, you pull that V out until it's good and loose or out, and then you pull out a little bit more of the spool, and I kind of just want to, you pull it out until all the backlash is gone. Just you keep pulling it out. This isn't backlash. This little loose stuff is bothering me. I'll get it later when I go fishing, or not. I'll just do it now. OCD. Anyway, alright, and what you want to do when you have all this line just hanging down and all that, you put your thumb over the line right here, and you turn up your drag a little bit, and then you start reeling it in until the line becomes tight with the bait on it. With the bait, you feel the weight of the bait. It's not still loose. See, now I have the weight of the bait and it's moving all the way out there. Just like that. And for pitching, what you want to do is grab the bottom part, like the heaviest part of the weight or something. I just grab the bait or something. There's enough weight on that, and you're holding it, and you kind of have a flow, like a flow, going out, pointing out to where you want to cast it, and then you let go with your thumb. So I'm not so sure if this will work, you know, with the line so tight, but I'll try. Oh, it does. So there's enough weight on there. And remember, before that bait hits the ground, you want to put your thumb back on the spool so it just drops. Now, that's just beginner settings. If you're experienced and stuff, you'd have a little bit more experience. See, what I do is I loosen this up to the point where it's as loose as it can be, without you hearing the clicking of the spool from side to side. Like you can, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's clicking back and forth. I just want that a little tighter so I don't get that. Okay, it's pretty much not clicking around or anything, which is good. And for this weight, I'd probably do a little bit just off max, maybe about that much right here. For, you know, if I didn't have that second weight on there, I'd probably loosen it up all the way, you know, to maybe halfway or possibly less for a lighter bait. But for now, just leave it right here. You know, and I'm gonna do. And the bait does kind of fall faster. When you want to thumb the spool, once you get the hang of it, start thumbing the spool. Making sure the spool doesn't spin faster than the bait's going out, so it doesn't backlash on itself while the bait is still in mid-air. So, you know, when you're casting more professionally, you're thumbing the spool more, which is kind of more control to you. You get to choose where exactly you want to, you know, have this. So I'm going to try to aim for that tree and the stumps and stuff right there. So I was just off to the right, you know. You know, I'm still learning. I've only been at this for like 3 months, maybe 2 months. I'm already pretty good. Right there. See, got it. I love this reel. Shout out to my brother for getting me this reel on his wedding anniversary as a gift to us, because we're part of his family. So thank you, bro. For you know, regular casting it on these settings, you know, it's just the same. Thumbing the spool a little bit more. I'd probably have it, you know, usually like the hook would be like right where it is, where that second weight is right there, so you could see it. You know, I'd take it off to the side, and right before it hits the ground and stuff, I put my thumb back on the spool. I'm not hacking it out there, and that would make the spool spin even faster than the line going out, which I don't want to do that. You know, just let it. And you don't want to just stop your thumb on there, because then it's just gonna go like I don't know what it's called, but it goes straight out, and then could, you know, ricochet back or whatever. So you kind of just want to slowly, but not too slow, because then you could backlash it with your thumb. But, you know, just, you know, apply pressure in like one simple motion, like that, you know, just so it slows it down to a stop enough, you know. And it's a good, like, half a second kind of thing, like that. Probably heard that, the squeak. No, I'm a big fan of braid now, because I could feel all the sensitivity of the bites and stuff. I do use leaders, you know, just for the extra invisibility. I have a 12-pound mono leader on 20-pound braid. I would use fluorocarbon, but, you know, just mono's what I have, and, you know, if I have it, why spend the money? But you know, I love baitcasters now. I started out with those button reels, like a lot of people would. You know, thinking there's a lot of people even would go for the expensive reels, thinking that'd be good, and not knowing there's a whole learning process to casting those, and they give up on fishing too early. I would probably just rather, you know, start off with one of those button reels like I did. You know, I moved up to a spinning reel, which was a little bit more difficult, a little bit more difficult to figure out how to cast, like overhead, side cast. I'm just better at side casting those spinning reels. I'm not too good with, you know, using this finger, my index finger, you know, to really, like, on the release. It kind of, like, I've lost a bait doing that, because it, like and then goes, you know, it just gets all the way out there, and it doesn't get as much casting distance as it would. But baitcasters, you know, I started getting into that. I got a Shakespeare Alpha as my first one, and man did it suck, because it was like pretty much all plastic, and it had this really small spool, and I mean, it had like, what was it, like one bearing or something like that. It was 2 bearing, 1 bearing, and it sucked, and I was gonna give up on bait casting. Then I was like, you know what, let's actually get a metal reel, and I got my first actual, you know, metal bait casting reel was Pinnacle Soline, and those reels are really good. I highly recommend it. And you know, I'm obviously not sponsored, it's too early in my channel, but you know, Pinnacle Soline is a good bait caster. I was so happy with it, I got a second one. So I got 2 Pinnacle Solines, one 7 bearing, 7 to 1 gear ratio, and the second one was 6 point something to 1. It has 6 bearing. Then my brother got me this last Saturday. It's 5 bearing, and it's smoother than this is like as smooth or smoother than my 7 bearing Pinnacle, but it has a gear ratio of where is it? 6.4 to 1. But I still like it. It's still really good. I love it. It's actually my favorite reel. So you know, I love bait casting. It's just what it is. You know, and it's not for everyone. You know, my brother doesn't want to get a bait caster. He likes how smooth mine is, and he's casted it before. And I mean, he's backlashed plenty of my reels before too. But he likes it. He said he might get one day, but you know, he's probably not ready because he's not. He doesn't know how to you know, use one. So maybe if he watches this video, if you're watching this video, Jordan, you know, I'm giving some pointers. You know, you probably won't take my pointers since you know, like, you hate the fact that I've been catching all the good sized fish this season. A bunch of catfish. You know, I caught the biggest one of 10 pounds, channel cat, in Hoover Reservoir. You know, and he hasn't caught enough fish in a while, so I do feel really bad about it too. Just shout out to my brother, and we got him a new fishing reel and rod combo with 15 or 20, I think it was 15-pound fluorocarbon line on it. It was a Lew's speed spinning reel, and he loved it. You know, he hasn't gotten to use it yet. Like the next morning after we gave him that, I went out and fished with this thing. I caught 1 fish, a little dink of like barely, maybe just a little more than a pound. You know, nothing really mentioned. That was the only thing I caught that day. Dad caught. He brought in 1 smallmouth bass, a little dink. Nothing to really mention. And then he lost a 10 or 11 pound catfish. I mean, seriously, we didn't even get to see it come out the water. We saw it splash far back and stuff. And he uses those button reels, the low gear ratio, so you know, he can horse it. He did horse it in with what he had, and you know, it just took off. And he decided, you know, the fish decided that he just wanted to take off when it started seeing a little bit of light through the water, the murky water, and so you know, it broke his line. It was a little frayed at the end, like this part of it. He doesn't use the leader. He has all monofilament on this reel. And it was frayed, and I guess it just broke off. It broke off the second one too, and we had this second fish, and so it was 5-pound catfish. It was right next to the boat. I'm lifting, and my dad said not to use the net, just pull it up by the line, and I did. And right when I was about to get in the boat, you know, the line snapped. We were able to keep the weight, but the line was frayed again. So you know, whatever's down there, or it could have been just like my dad had a rusty. One of those rusty lead bullet weights, and it probably was my fault because one of my weights and stuff. And I said, you could still use it. See, it's not rusted over. You know, I probably should have given him my new ones, just so you could not have a frayed line. I blamed that on myself. So, oh man. All right, here. A moment when you wrap the tip around. You know. There you go. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to really share with you. You know. Just for now, just a little show you how to show you how to cast a bait caster. Maybe some information on some of the gear that I have. I have this Vigilante, Abu Garcia Vigilante. I have the spinning reel that I have. My brother's been wanting from me for a while. It's a Gander Mountain series rod and reel combo. It's like the rod's Abu Garcia. It was old. My dad found it in a vacant. He's a maintenance worker, so he gets free stuff all the time. And that was like, then I looked up the reel alone, it was like 90 bucks. And yeah, it was good for free, $90 reel and however much the rod is for free. Like, how are you gonna pass that up? Like, seriously. Anyway, my other rod, the last rod, that I have was a Shakespeare Alpha. It was a rod and reel combo that I had that bait caster that, I almost gave up on bait casting. And I loved the rod. It was really flimsy at the end, which I liked. It was a lot of sensitivity, and it was strong. It was a 12-pound rod, and I caught my personal best channel cat and my personal cat, I can't speak. My personal best channel cat was on that line. It was, what was it? 10 pounds? Yeah, it was 10 pounds. And we were fishing just off of Oxbow in Hoover. Yeah, they get that big. And then my personal best, my personal best blue cat was caught on, I believe, I think it was the same rod, different reel when I got that new braided line reel. It was that second Pinnacle Soleil. It was an orange one. The first one with my personal best was a red one. This the higher gear ratio, but a 7-pound blue cat was, a nice little surprise. Blue cats were biting that day, so I caught like 8 fish that day. We were fishing just for a few hours in the morning. So yeah, I had fun there, and that one was just off of like Sunbury, a little drive off to boat ramp or whatever, and that spot's been getting a lot of attention from the fish. We've been catching a lot of fish there. We tried to return to Oxbow since we've been fishing at that one place off Sunbury Road so much, and it was dead. I only caught that one fish. My dad caught that one fish and lost those 2 fish. So out of the entire morning, it could have been better. We've done better in that area, but oh well. I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of fishing there. We're planning on a trip actually. We're planning on a trip real soon up to Lake Erie for walleye fishing, which I've never caught a walleye before. I've never caught a bass before the season, so it's a first for everything, especially on the season. I'd love to catch my first walleye. I heard they put up a good fight, and I'm prepared for it. I think. I don't know. I might just try straight up braid, or I might just use I actually used some of my dad's fluorocarbon that he has. He has some in his tackle box. I use that as a leader, 15-pound fluorocarbon. Just for that extra invisibility. And I am gonna try lure fishing. I've only ever been successful once for my personal best smallmouth bass on a lure, and that was when I was picking a bird's nest out of that Shakespeare reel. And I just realized there was a fish it was a fish on the end of that hook on that lure, and it was barely hooked. Thank goodness that I got that. Yeah. That was what was that? That was a really bad. No, that was a really bad pitch. Anyway, so yeah, life update or whatever. First, fishing related video on this channel. Yeah, I think that's it. That's when I wasn't paying attention. It was too low to the ground. That's bird's nest right there. Meh. I don't care who you are. Everybody gets bird's nest eventually. Even if you've been bait casting for years and years, you still get bird's nest, especially on a new reel that you had just bought. You don't know. You're trying to get the feel for it. Yeah, you definitely get bird's nest. I don't care who you are. It's just the goal is just to try to reduce the amount of bird's nesting, like on your casts and stuff, and how far you can cast your bait, lure, whatever. efficiently without all that bird's nest. You know, just as far as you can without all that mess. You know, to pick out is a pain in the butt. I think I'm gonna call it an end to this video. Plus, I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes out here. And Ohio's pretty bad for mosquitoes, especially up at Port Clinton with all those mayflies. There's a ton of mosquitoes there, and I mean, even through bug spray, those things don't stop. So yeah, and other people might have them worse than we do. But that's pretty much how it goes. I guess somebody's home. Finally, all right. I'm gonna call it quits on this video. See ya.